Channel 3 Burlington.
Good afternoon, I'm George Wilson. A woman with a gun held off police for 45 minutes in the Bennington Hospital emergency room last night, but authorities were able to get the gun taken away. The gun accidentally went off in the woman's purse while she was awaiting treatment. No one was hurt. The unidentified woman refused to give it up. State police troopers were eating in the hospital cafeteria and arrived along with town police. Police say that she had been stopped for speeding earlier in the evening. They were able to talk to her. She reportedly then threatened to shoot herself. Police were able to rush her and get the gun away. A woman was arrested on a charge of reckless endangerment. Nearly 400 police, prosecutors, and other members of the legal profession turned out this morning for the funeral of John Churchill. There were scores of uniformed police paying respects to the Chittenden County Deputy Prosecutor who died at his desk on Wednesday morning. John Churchill died of a massive heart attack. He was a walking encyclopedia of criminal law, criminal history. The law enforcement community honored him today. The lawyer for convicted killer Robert Plant wants a new trial for his client, saying the scandal at the state police lab could have had an effect on test results used as evidence in that trial. One of the state chemists was charged with using drugs at the lab and was dismissed. Plant was convicted in April of killing Glenn Michelson with a ski pole driven through his skull after a Memorial Day party in 1992. Plant's lawyer also said the jury should have been sequestered. A judge is now considering the request for a new trial. Rutland County Sheriff Lee Jones says he won't guarantee security in some of the courts because the state pay is too low. Jones says the state pays the equivalent of $7.90 an hour for deputies, while a private outfit like New England Telephone hires them at $23 an hour for traffic control. State law directs sheriffs to provide security in superior courts, but they have no statutory duty in district nor family courts. And family court officials are worried because of daily outbursts of violence. Arrest warrants have reportedly been issued for 2 murder suspects wanted for the killing of an Indian prince and his wife, who owned a large estate in Littleton, New Hampshire, which they tried to develop into a resort. Prince Teddy Kedker and his wife were found murdered in early April in their Park Avenue apartment. The case remained a mystery until this week, when a man called police in Reno, Nevada, saying that he and another man went to the apartment intending to rob them, but the other man killed the couple. Authorities are in the process of going to Reno to get the 2 men back to Manhattan to face charges. The couple was well known in Park Avenue society circles. They were also in Littleton frequently. The Princes had longtime ties to the area. Their plans for a racetrack and for a 4-season resort had been rejected by Littleton planners. Although it seems expensive to many Vermonters, Burlington, Vermont ranks as the 62nd least expensive metropolitan area to buy a house. That's out of 202 areas surveyed. The National Association of Home Builders says that more than 82% of the houses sold in Burlington were within financial reach. Although the Northeast is one of the most expensive regions in the country, Nashua and Manchester, New Hampshire are in the top 20 most affordable areas. Least expensive of all, Lima, Ohio. The most expensive, San Francisco. The church in Plymouth, Vermont has remained much the same since Calvin Coolidge worshiped there 70 years ago, but there could be a big change coming, and that has led to a big debate in town. The Coolidge Memorial Foundation owns the church and has plans for a wheelchair ramp that would go around to the back of the church. But the installation would also involve cutting up some of the historic tongue and groove interior to install the new door. That in turn has divided foundation members, some saying it is needed, others saying it would wreck a national treasure. Preservationists say the foundation should apply for a waiver from access rules, but a foundation spokesman says the church should have another entrance and one that is accessible to those in wheelchairs. The foundation will vote on the issue on August 1st. And the state of Vermont will mail out its property tax rebate checks by next Friday, but there will be a 4% reduction for those recipients under the age of 62. The tax department says the reduction is due to the 2% cutback for state government. State law requires full funding of rebates for those over 62, so the tax department is cutting back 4% for those under the age of 62. And that's the news this Friday afternoon. Sharon Meyer has weekend weather next. Well, I guess everybody's wondering if it's going to be any better than today tomorrow.
Well, it is going to be getting better for the weekend. It's actually an entirely different story down in the southern part of the area than it is here in the north. South of Rutland, there's a mix of sun with the clouds. Here in the north, clouds and showers still with us. Not quite an inch of rain fell on Jay Peak yesterday. More than a half an inch in Hunt Center, 38/100ths in Albany, Vermont. 3/10 of an inch in South Lincoln, 13/100ths in Brookfield. As you head to the south, though, they're missing out on the rain, just a trace of Rutland and very little at all in the southern part of the area. Now in Burlington, we picked up 29/100ths of an inch of rain, bringing the monthly total to 1.65. That's still below normal by about 9/10 of an inch. And for the year to date, 16.56, below normal by about an inch. On Lake Champlain this afternoon, look for the winds to be from the west, about 5 to 15 knots. Waves out on the Broad Lake about a foot. Now there are still some showers out there, in which case the visibility 3 to 5 miles, the lake level 95.49 feet above sea level, and the water temperature 68 degrees. Currently in Burlington, we're still finding a little bit of drizzle. The temperature is 63 degrees, relative humidity 84%. Barometric pressure's been steady the past couple of hours, 29.95 inches. The winds are from the west at 6 miles per hour. And sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 5:31 and sunset at 8:27. Temperatures are a little bit cooler in some of the northern sections than it is down in the south. We have 68 up in Montreal, 65 in Plattsburgh, 59 being reported in Montpelier. Very little being picked up on radar, but we can see a few pockets of green right here. A lot of the rest of this is drizzle light enough that it's not being picked up on the radar. And down in southern sections of New England, there is a little bit of sun mixing in down there, certainly, so the temperatures are already warmer, and they will be rising during the afternoon to more seasonable levels down in that part of the woods. Now, we still have that same old circulation stuck over the Canadian Maritimes, still bringing some clouds and some showers, primarily brushing the northernmost regions right along the Canadian border. And down in southern New England, they've been seeing some beautiful weather so far this week with a lot of sunshine and very pleasant temperatures. Out in the Midwest, bands of heavy rain target that area again with 1 to 2 inches already in some areas and another 6 inches possible. You can imagine what the frustration is like out in that part of the country. More showers and thunderstorms developing this morning, and that is going to continue to slide towards the east once again. It is the same type of weather pattern that we've been seeing for quite a while now. The same systems, storm pushing moisture into the Midwest, a cool flow into the Northwest, so they're a little bit crabby about their weather as well, though certainly not as bad as it is in the center part of the country. Still hot and humid down in the south. And as far as we're concerned, well, we're still waiting for that low pressure system to move on out, but it is going to be losing its grasp slowly, and we are expecting this high pressure system to begin building into the area, and that is going to be bringing us some more summer-like weather as we head into the weekend. Now, we've kind of forgotten what that is. That means a little more sunshine and temperatures back up into the 70s and into the 80s. High temperatures for us this afternoon. Well, they'll be staying in the 60s in some locations, particularly in the northern areas where we're still seeing the clouds and the showers. 70s and 80s down to the south of that. For tomorrow, though, a little bit of an improvement. 70s and 80s for all of us here in the northeast. Taking a closer look at the forecast for the rest of this afternoon. Those of us in the north, closer to the Canadian border, cloudy and cool with scattered showers. South of Rutland, well, clouds, some sun mixing in. There'll still be a chance of sprinkles for you, too. High temperatures 65 to 75. Here we are at the end of July, 65 to 75. For tonight, partly cloudy, the overnight lows in the 50s. For Saturday, mixed clouds and sun, the high temperature 75 to 80 degrees, and the extended outlook for the beginning of next week. Dry on Sunday and on Monday with a chance of thunderstorms on Tuesday. There we see the temperatures beginning to look a little more like July, getting up into the 80s to near 90 degrees, particularly in some of the southern regions. A little more humid on Tuesday, so that brings back the threat for some